All right. So we are going to look at the Jacksonville Jaguars cornerbacks, Jalen Ramsey and A.J.Bouye, against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 5 of the 2018 NFL season. Two of the best corners in the game, and they just so happen to be on the same team. And obviously matched up here against the most exciting, most prolific offense this year with some great receiving threats in terms of Hill, Watkins, and Kelsey. And then they've got some other guys, some depth there that's got a lot of speed as well. So definitely a lot of threats. And then obviously Patrick Mahomes with a big arm and the ability to extend plays, really adding to that whole package as well. So we're going to start off here. This is the second offensive play for the Chiefs here. And right away, we're going to look at the bottom here. At Bouye, he was number 21 here in the bottom. This is going to be a run play coming out wide to his side. So I think it's a real good job here. Right there, you've got a tight end come out to block on him. Kelsey's kind of reaching out, not really engaging hard with him. And he takes this block on. He makes sure he maintains his outside leverage, and that's a key here because if he just suddenly just ducks inside, that opens up the outside. There's nobody else outside there, and Hunt would be able to take that edge and keep running for a while. So it's important to maintain that edge. All right, which he does, and then he ducks inside in order to come in and make the tackle. Now you see the angle on it, right? He's aiming for his outside shoulder, comes in and makes a tackle on the runner there for a short gain, only a gain of 2 on the play. So good job right there. The next play, we're going to see him in the pass game. He's going to be at the bottom of the screen again. Again, now we have Kelsey coming out to this side. Kelsey's going to run a quick little arrow route to the sideline. They're just trying to get the ball in his hands, just trying to get it out real quick. And you can see Mahomes looks at it right away, but he's got a problem there because Bouye is looking to jump that thing. He's coming hard on it, makes Mahomes think twice. He scrambles around and ends up throwing a good ball to Kelsey here. So they throw it to Kelsey. He puts it really in a position where, especially with the size of Kelsey, with this size advantage, I mean, you put this on the sideline here, there's no way the defender can make a play on it. But this is really a win for the defense. It was 2nd and 8. They threw the ball, and now it's 3rd and 6. So it's really a 3rd and long, 3rd and medium type situation, depending on how you look at it. And they've held him to 2 yards. So this is a good job here. Just sticking with it, staying with it. Again, you're not necessarily going to be able to make a play when you've got a bigger athlete who's not even in motion. He can block you out with his body. It's going to be hard for you to make a play on that. So good job in this situation. And then looking up top, we've got Ramsey. He's pressed. He's a little rigid in his stance. This is kind of how he plays it. A lot of guys will bend their knees a little bit more. But obviously what he does works for him. That's one thing about really athletic defensive backs. Good coaches will not make them fit into a box and play a certain technique. Guys that aren't quite as athletic, might have to fit a little bit more in that box to get the most out of what they do have. But Ramsey, that ain't him. So right away here, we look at how he's playing it. He reaches out a little bit. He's got his eyes in the backfield, and that allows the receiver to get a decent little release on him. But he's just so smooth coming around that it doesn't really matter. Real smooth reaction there. He reaches, gets his hands out. He's looking at the quarterback too long, but still he comes out in great position. Because he can. Just that's the ability this guy has to do this. So they end up getting a penalty, but this is the next play, 3rd and 1. All right, so we're looking up top at Ramsey again. All right. Not terribly physical on that. You'd like to see him. They are allowed to have some contact initially in the line. And he tries. He reaches a little bit there. That's tough when these guys are going across the formation. He's getting in this position where he's going to, he's going to run into the linebacker if he stays right with it. So he kind of has to drop off a little bit. That's why they run those things across the formation. It does make it a little tough for you. But especially when they're booting out like that, you want to stay behind it and on top of it, just how he does. So right there in that position, he's in a spot where if this guy just all of a sudden decides to turn around and go over here, and they're going to throw just a major throwback pass, that's not open. If you run too far underneath it, you allow that to happen. Very difficult throw. Probably going to hang up there for a little bit if they do that. But if it's wide open, it's wide open. And also, this is Patrick Mahomes. The guy's got a big time arm. So he's a guy that can do that. So really, Ramsey is in the position that you want him to be in this situation. And something of note here, just personnel wise, the Chiefs have 3 tight ends here. It's a heavy personnel. It's a short yardage situation because there's only one receiver on the field. They're in a defense where they're really essentially only employing one cornerback. But these guys are so valued. These guys are so talented that AJ's still on the field. And they put him back really in this free safety role. They're not going to take that guy off the field. So good job, by the Jags are realizing they want that guy in the field and not subbing him out and leaving on a free safety that doesn't have the ability, the value that he does. All right, up top to Ramsey once again. Actually, you know what? We're going to skip a couple here. Now we're looking at Ramsey up top. He's got Hill. He's playing him tight. And look, Hill can't get a clean release on the guy. Mahomes wants to throw this thing up to him, and he can't get a clean release. So that takes the play away right away. He can't even get to it. Bouye comes in motion here. He's on number 2. You'd like to see him break a little bit faster on that. It's probably just a part of the motion. He gets a little bit off kilt, and he's backing up, and look at kind of how all of his weight's back. So that makes it difficult for him to be able to transition there. You see he had to get quite a few steps in there to get going. There we go. He's breaking at the right angle, though, for that foot shoulder. You just like to see it be a little bit faster on that. Again, that's pretty nitpicky. These guys are 2 of the best in the NFL. It's a little nitpicky there, but he is kind of leaning back a little funky there. One thing to consider too, the way this motion takes place, they do slow him down a little bit. As the receiver goes in motion here, they slow him down. But a lot of times, especially if the ball's snapping and the guy's still moving, if he's coming in motion, he's going out to that side. They will bring them back. Obviously, they'll do other things with them. But kind of the quicker it happens, the less likely that is to happen. Here he's getting to the out. He kind of starts to set up, but he didn't have really a lot of time. It would have been difficult for him to come back across the formation. All right, we're going to skip it on a little bit here. All right, now we're going to see a little bit of Ramsey here. He is up top once again. And we get the screen, and again, now he is coming up. Ramsey's coming up and holding the edge this time. So physical player, we see him coming up. receiver kind of tries to lock him out. He's the one that really brings it, though. And you see him kind of basically bench press the guy. I hate that term because the hands are nothing like it. But the way he's using the arm, he's getting it pressed. He's getting some extension with him. That allows him to see what's going on and be able to disengage from the block. He has to hold this edge though, because if he tries to just sneak inside, all of a sudden, Watkins here just sneaks to the outside. And it's a foot race. These guys, may have an angle on him, but he's gonna pick up a lot of yards if he's able to get to the edge there. All right, so he's really got to hold this and keep it inside. On these screens, you're usually going to have quite a bit of pursuit coming. You see a number of Jaguars getting into the screen right now. The receiver actually getting kind of knocked over by one of his own offensive linemen. Kind of getting having some issues there with that. So really holding that edge though and relying on everybody else to do their job. You can come off that block, but you've got to make sure you're taking that outside away, not letting them get outside there, not just shooting the gap and allowing yourself to get blocked in and that edge to be opened up. All right. So a few plays later here, both of these guys are going to be on the bottom now. We've got Bouye down here on the very bottom. Ramsey is in the over the third receiver. So 1, 2, 3. He is over the innermost receiver on the bottom here. Okay, so he does a pretty good job here. I mean, it's really tough, especially with this position, to completely, deny an inside release. You're not really going to want to do that because you do have, he just has some help inside here, but he's looking to play this tight. Again, he's got to keep himself from getting knocked out by his own players coming here on the blitz. He's in a right position there, and then he's fighting. This route makes it tough on him. They get an initial good inside release. He takes it right up, and he's fighting to get there. They've got a step on him, but he's fighting to get back into the position he wants to be in. So all in all, pretty decent job there. As that ball's in the air and the receiver's slowing, he's probably going to make that up with the speed that he has. On the bottom here for Bouye. All right, nice and patient, turns his hips, looks at the hip of the receiver. So getting in real good position here in man. Okay, patient, outside release, eyes to the hips. So good job, good position there. We're going to go into the second quarter now. All right, Ramsey's up top. Bouye comes in motion here. This guy ends up reaching a little bit. All right, but again, he fights to get into that position. He fights to be underneath the receiver, in between the receiver and the ball. And again, you see at the end of plays how he makes all that up. Makes up for that space. His length definitely helps him when he gets into a nice little stride there. But he's in good position here. And even when he gets off a little bit in the front end, he fights to get back to where he needs to be. Not a bad phase here for Bouye either. This receiver's kind of looking to bend this in. He does have some inside help there, obviously, with the free safety. So he's not too crazy about fighting for position on it. If that guy cuts it up, he's going to be in a good spot. So he's maintaining that position there. All right, we're going to go a little bit later here in the quarter. All right, Bouye is up top right now. We're going to take a look at him on this one. Actually, these next couple, he's up top, playing tight. Gets his hands on. I mean, this is a pretty decent little job here. These slant routes can be really tough on a corner. He's got inside help, so he is playing, with a little bit of outside leverage there. Excuse me, he can play with a little bit of outside leverage there. He's initially, they take a step to the outside. All right, he's bringing his inside hand around. That's how you get that jam on there, and it's going to help him bring his hips around if this guy is releasing to the outside. All right, but now that he's not, okay, he gets back here. We want to get that outside hand back around and try and flatten out that slant a little bit. Problem is now we're getting into the 5-yard range where you can't do too much of that. But he gets his hips back around, gets really in pretty good phase with him right away here. He's able to get to position to at least make a tackle on this thing right away. Obviously, it's an incompletion. He's celebrating, he's dancing around, doing a little dinosaur dance or something. I don't know what that is, but he's in good position here. He fights for it. I don't know if he really got a hand on the ball there, but he was able to make a play, and get in position to make that thing. So good job right there. Again, he brings that outside hand. He brings that inside hand when it looks like it's going for the outside release. And coming back around with the outside hand when it gets to the inside release. All right, so we'll take one more look here. Might hit the slow button a little fast there. There we go. All right, ball snapped. He's showing the outside release. Get the hand on. Now it comes back inside. Come back around. Get to that upfield shoulder. All right, and the idea here is you want to be able to play the ball with the offhand, which or upfield hand. It would be the right hand of this situation, and make sure with that left hand that we're securing the tackle. So he does a pretty good job there trying to get involved. Gets right back into phase of that thing. That's a pretty good job all around. All right, the very next play, Bouye again up top. Okay, bailing out here. All right, playing off. Nice little read, nice little break. And this is tough. People see this and they think, well, he's taking a bad angle, he's taking a missed tackle. I mean, really, with where this route is going here, he's taking the angle that he should be. He gets the read right there on the quarterback. All right, and he's breaking for the out. He's breaking right here where that route would continue to. Now Mahomes puts it a little bit behind him, which is, a good job putting the ball where it's not going to get intercepted, because he puts this thing on the sideline. Bouye might have it. He puts it right there. Bouye is going to get himself under control, but he comes in and he's getting in there and making a tackle and keeping contain on it. So that's a pretty good job right there. All right, let's skip one. This is just a couple plays later. All right, this is essentially like call it a chains play. Everybody's running a hitch right at the first down marker. They're in 2nd and 10 here. A lot of times it's something you'll see on 3rd down, but here they're in 2nd and 10. Maybe they think they want to get things reset a little bit. So they're breaking that right off at that point. We got Ramsey at the bottom here. He's playing loose. He's playing basically right at that first down marker, just a touch in front of it. Backs off, but he's going to maintain position right there. He sees that thing hitch up. He's sitting on it, and this is like a cover 4 look here. So he's got to sit on it. He's got to be aware if there's anything else coming in there, but he's in pretty good position on that. All right, Ramsey's going to be up top on this one. So here's what happens when you're not patient with things. He ends up getting a little bit ahead of this route. When you're ahead of something with your back to it, it's going to cut off in front of you. So that puts him in a difficult spot here. If they want to go to this guy, he's running right by him. Right? They throw the ball right there. That's a first down. That's picking up yards. So really back going to make a tackle on it. But that puts him in a tough spot there. So definitely not the position he wants to be in. We'll see him again at the top here. I'm sorry. So we got Bouye at the top here. No, that's him. Sorry. All right. Yep. So he's playing off on that. He's being patient with it. All right. But you see, he's got eyes on that quarterback. He's waiting. He's setting it up. He's baiting it. He's daring him to throw that ball. We saw that a minute ago. Bouye trying to jump a ball. All right. We're seeing it here with Ramsey playing off, jumping, looking to get in front of the thing, and just doesn't quite get there. But the good corners, they're going to kind of try and create some opportunities for themselves. When you got that kind of makeup speed, you got to you're going to try and bait some stuff like that and take the ball away. So that was a pretty good job right there. Just not quite there with it. All right, so we're going to go into the second half now. All right, we got Ramsey here at the bottom. It's a pretty good job, pretty good position he gets himself into. We'll get it started here. All right, so that's where he's getting pressed deep. Remember, he's got help on the inside. All right, so he's going to run underneath this corner route. Is it trying to run that layers concept? It's something they talked about on NFL Matchup a few weeks back with the levels in the Chiefs passing game and the flood concept. So the flood concept is something you see a lot of teams run it. They do run it particularly well, and they run it in a lot of different ways. So this is just kind of a wrinkle to that, where we've got the deep route here that he's taken away, and then we've got a deeper out and a shorter out. So the idea here is to kind of try and put the defense in a bind, and a lot of times it'd be a corner sitting here is responsible for both routes. He backs off, you throw it. It's like in a cover two look. If he backs off, you're going to throw it underneath. If he jumps this route, you're going to throw it to the deeper out. So a lot of times, that's kind of how that concept works. And it could be the same thing in a cover three look with the back or the safety coming out. It puts that flat defender really in a bind. Whereas the deep field player should always be the deep field player. But we'll go back up here and look at Bouye up top. So he's playing that same technique we were talking about. He's going to play behind it for the throwback, because all of a sudden when you start trying to run, too close to it, you start trying to fight to get ahead of it. Boom, they come back. They do some kind of throwback. That's the kind of play that has the Chiefs written all over it. That's an Andy Reid kind of deal. Set you up, and when you see something like that, to torch you on that type of route. But obviously, he's got help here from the linebackers in the way that the Jaguars play the boot. All right, I'm going to skip one. We're going to stick with Bouye at the bottom here. All right. So comes around, gets his hips around. Now, once again, he gets a little bit deep on it again. And, the receiver pushes off more than a little bit here. But, Bouye was already running past him. He kind of helped him along to open himself up on the comeback here, trying to move these chains, trying to get that first down. All right. Now Ramsey's here on the number 3 receiver up top. All right, so that guy's coming across. Again, he's fighting, he's chasing to get in position with it. That's tough when they take that inside release to really be in a good spot. He does have help inside. He's got that linebacker. All right, but that linebacker is focused now on Mahomes. And this is likely part of their defense for that linebacker to focus on Mahomes. Whether it's that he's playing a spy technique or if it's just some kind of scramble type of rule that they have. That backer's gone. He's out of it. And since this number 3 receiver isn't heading deep, we're not going to get any help here from the free safety either. So he's really got to fight to get back into position between the ball and the quarterback. The quarterback and the receiver. All right, the receiver and the ball. All right, and he does. And he does a great job on this. Coming back around. Getting there, fighting to get in position on that. So pretty good job on that. That is an incomplete pass on that play. And we're going to skip a little bit again. All right. We got Ramsey down here at the bottom. Playing real far off here. All right. And too far off. All right. Look at all he's giving up. That's 2nd and 7. It's not like it's 3rd and forever or anything like that. It's 2nd and 7. They don't have that much to gain. Right away, Ramsey starts here. He's playing about 9 yards off the ball. So the first down's in front of him. When you're playing that far off the ball, you can chill coming out. You don't have to fly out of there and you backpedal. You can chill. You don't have to turn and run, see what's going on with things because you're not getting pressed right away. You've already got a cushion on that receiver. And when you're Jalen Ramsey, you're very fast. So you don't have to be too concerned about that. About flying out of there. Just chill, just relax. All right. And by the time that ball's thrown, he's close to 15 yards off that. So he's our distance off of there. He gets back almost, right about to the 30. He's a ways off. I mean, that's easy. It's just a little bit of velocity and a little bit of placement on that pass, and it's going to be an easy completion. The ball gets there. He's 3-4 yards off of that receiver. So, you definitely, you don't need to be flying out of there. Just chill with it. Chill with it until you start to get pressed. Then you can fly out. Then you can, we call it tempo back pedal. It's a slow back pedal until something presses you. Then you pick it up. So you're always being able to alter your tempo in your back pedal. And if push comes to shove, you turn and run. But that's he's putting himself in a tough spot there by flying out of there. Especially in the modern NFL too. It's not all about not getting beat deep. If you get beat underneath, you can get beat for a lot of yards too. All of a sudden that guy makes a move. That guy's got some speed. Some of these guys are faster with the ball in their hands. That now you're in a situation, where you have to make a tackle in the open field, which isn't easy. Especially against another athlete. So getting beat underneath can be the equivalent of getting beat deep. All they have to do is rack it up a little bit, run out to the catch and pick up some yards on that. We're going to look at up top here, Bouye too. All right, playing up tight. All right, gets his hand around, does a good job with that in the transition again, getting his left hand around. But again, he's just like a little bit in front of it. You like to see him show out a little bit too, so he doesn't get beat on that cutback route. But all in all, not too bad. You just kind of want to see him relax on that route a little bit more. Look at Ramsey here. He's on the number 3 receiver at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, he's just so athletic. His feet get in a funky position. He's got these big, long legs. He looks a little awkward trying to do things in space sometimes. But he's able to get his hands on the guy, and he's all over him. He's all over him. This guy isn't going anywhere. His legs are a little off kilt, but he's able to use his physicality for for lack of a better term, to slow down that release. Get back to it. That's these big long corners when they're playing press. They got to use their hands. It was driving me crazy. And if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw me going off about the 49ers and their one-on-one routes during camp. Somebody was tweeting out a bunch of these, which was awesome. I love seeing that stuff. That's a ton of fun for me. But it was driving me crazy that they had these big, long-armed corners playing press man and not using your hands. Use your hands, especially on these little guys. You can't let them, these little quick guys get a free release on you. Use the advantage you have from your size. Use your length, use your strength, and affect their release. And Ramsey does a great job of that on this one. All right, skip down a few here. All right, this is a third down. This is a 3rd and 10 situation. We got Ramsey at the bottom here. Awesome. This is how you play the fade. A lot of people, I call an out. I call an outside vertical route a fade, regardless of where it's in the field. Sometimes people just call it that when they're hucking up a jump ball in the end zone. But I call this a fade anywhere in the field. So here we see he's being patient. He's got his eyes on it. Turns, and look at that angle he takes. He's not giving that guy any room on that sideline. He's taking an angle to his shoulder right here, and he's just pressing him out of bounds. And he's made a really, really tight window. Like Mahomes doesn't have anywhere to make that guy run to because Ramsey eliminates that. And look at him turn. Look at him turning his back, looking back. I mean, that's what you can do when you completely overlap the guy and take that route away. This is an awesome job. And that's Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's a good receiver, too. He forces him to release out wide, and then he forces him to keep going wider, boom, by attacking that shoulder, not letting him get back in, not letting him stack him up. That is an awesome job. All right, up top here we got Ramsey. He is playing tight again. All right, see, he just looks back a little bit now. A little bit different from that last one. Look, he's chilling, right? He's chilling. He keeps his feet moving. Hill wants to do all this junk in front of him. He's fine with it though. He's just relaxing. He's not jumping to the inside, biting on that route. He's not doing anything. He's just chilling and keeping his feet moving. He transitions here. Hill starts to get a little bit of a jump on him. Now he's turning back a little too soon. Get to that shoulder. That's where the ball's going anyway, and he can look for it late. He's got to keep fighting to get to that shoulder. Mahomes throws a great ball in a pretty tight little window there. But Ramsey can do a little bit more to take that away. All right, fine. I'm going to look at one more play here. We're going to go into the 4th quarter. We're going to look at Bouye. All right, so this is a good little break here. He's at the bottom of the screen. All right. Not really letting anything happen here. I mean, why even run this route? You know, it's hard to say. But you know, he's all over this thing. He's right there with it. They throw it in a good spot, and they're able to complete it. You know, you'd like to see him get his hands on that, but again, it's not unlike the Kelsey thing. You got Watkins that has a size advantage, and it makes it tough on him. But you know, pretty good job. They're sticking with it. And again, he's getting the tackle here. Unfortunately, they are able to get some yardage on and put themselves in a better third down. But you know, good job not flying out of there, not bailing out, chilling with it, sticking with that route. All right.